What if your cool Australian boyfriend was nothing but a nerd? That's a question that we asked today on How Did This Get Made's Monday Matinee as we look back at Boyfriend School, aka Don't Tell Her It's Me. Oh boy, this was a really fun episode. Steve Guttenberg plays a recovering cancer patient who, in an effort to change his appearance and nerd-like stature, transforms himself into an Australian motorcycle man with an amazing accent. Steve actually sent How Did This Get Made a cameo in the voice of Lobo, the character that he portrays. And this movie is phenomenal. Shelley Long, comedic genius. There's also a character in here that we love called Piglet, but I can't even do her justice in this very short little talk about. You got to listen to the whole episode. And by the way, that's what we're here to tell you about. Right now, How Did This Get Made is re-releasing old episodes from the vault into the mainstream. You can listen to it right now wherever you listen to podcasts, but this one is especially good because we get back into that Gish and Gertz conversation that we're always having. That's right. Gish, Gertz, they're in the 80s, they're in these movies, and they are fantastic, and Steve loves one of them, but you have to listen to the episode to find out which one. Here's the deal. There is so much wrong in this movie. How you approach a relationship, how you act once you're in a relationship. But June had one big issue. She did not think that male brothers and female sisters, I guess that's the way they are, male and female anyway, she didn't think that adult brothers and sisters should get along as well as Shelley Duvall and Steve Guttenberg. Opinions, thoughts, maybe she's right, maybe she's wrong. Anyway, you have to listen to her tell you why. But we're going to get into a very confusing scene, a scene where Steve Guttenberg brings over an intimacy expert to learn how to make the moves on a woman, and it's so disturbing. Here, take a listen.
The crazy thing about that mannequin, though, Paul, is it's not. Here's what's so. I mean, we'll talk about the sensuality instructor, but that it's not like a sex doll. It's like it's almost like one of those art.
It's
models,
like a CPR.
like a sculpture
it almost feels
model.
like a CPR type dummy, but it is.
But not even that. It looks like one of those smaller figurines, those models you
like an
see
artist
in art
figurine
class to give you.
Yes,
like an artist figurine, but bigger, but like wooden, right?
The one that's on the woman version that she brings to the fishing shack.
The man version, she just rips off the dick.
Version.
It's just the man version because she just rips off the dick. But although the body still has breasts.
It has breasts, and doesn't she put a vagina on it?
No, she rips the dick off of it. She throws it over her shoulder because she goes, okay, let's do this. Rip, and tosses it over her shoulder.
Oh, so, okay.
Listen, gender's a construct. But
that's interesting. I misunderstood that because I thought she had brought a female model to teach him about the erogenous zones that she's pointing at.
One model has all the parts. It seems like.
I get it.
So yes.
Okay. Now it makes.
Because it seemed like the dick was attached by Velcro. And I think obviously it was they just wanted that moment to have her go rip and toss the dick off.
I will say, I don't know if this is just because I haven't had any human contact in 3 months. That model, that dummy was looking good to me. I was like, I'm into like that ankle. Like, yes, tell me more about the ankle as the erogenous zone.
I mean, that scene was an amazing scene because I think this movie does something really interesting, which I don't think it really makes fun of romance novelists. And I think that's an easy choice to do, to make fun of romance novelists, something that I have been called out for, and I've learned my lesson, and I've enjoyed a romance novel now as an adult male, and I am all for romance novelists. I think this movie does a great job at like kind of validating their art, but this woman, the sensuality expert, I don't know if she's totally the woman I want to hear because was she?
I love
suggesting
Beth Grant is that actress?
Beth Grant is amazing,
and she's
in everything.
I was like, the fact that this is Beth Grant, I was like, this is all I want. The only other person I would maybe have wanted in that part would be Grace Zabriskie, who would complete the trifecta of Twin Peaks character actors in this show.
But what was she suggesting when she said you got to like tongue the mouth? When she like got over the dummy and started like blah, 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 with her tongue over, was she saying like I'm not going to put my tongue in here, but this is what you should do. Or what she's saying, literally, you need to just like dangle your tongue outside of the mouth.
It felt like she was saying, tease the woman's lips with your tongue. Like,
okay.
But let me be clear. I don't think that's what she should be. That to me made me question her, the validity of her as a sensuality expert, because
that's what I was getting at. That
I don't think fully extending your tongue and licking at the lips of the other person should be part of kissing.
I mean, but that was the craziest thing, because she's on the right track. Like, she's talking about the erogenous zones, and Steve Guttenberg. I want to get into Steve Guttenberg too.
Steve Guttenberg, meanwhile, is hearing all of this with his sister looking at him like it's as if Shelley Long acts about her brother the way somebody would act overprotectively about like a child.
And I have to say, I'm going to say something. It's not going to be popular. I'm always, I'm going to say it.
Oh boy.
I'm always a little creeped out by adult brothers and sisters who are very close.
Oh. Wait, that's it? Who are close?
Wait, you don't like
that? That actually is controversial. I thought you were going to say something. Hey, you're just mistrustful of brother-sister sibling relationships that are close?
No, listen, I come from a family of 2 sisters, so it's all I know. I never had a brother. But something about it when I see an adult, not kids, not teens, but an adult brother and sister who are like so into each other's lives.
Well, it's about, for me, I understand what you're saying in this regard, in that it's so much about the performance of sexuality. The idea that the sister would watch a woman teach her brother how to please a woman, that's the part that I'm like, hey, Shelley Long, step outside while the sensuality expert does her work. You can connect, you can set your brother up, you can host
that
dinner.
Part too.
But here's the question I have, and I think what this movie makes a very complicated case for is we meet Steve Guttenberg post-cancer treatment, right? So I don't know if it's because of the cancer treatment that he's overweight. He's obviously bald because of the chemo. I get all of that. But she treats him like he's a loser. And it's also like, but he's also recovering from cancer. So it's an odd thing where she's like, if he didn't have cancer and he was just like a guy who maybe had a little bit of weight on him and wasn't taking care of himself and eating bad food, like I get like why she needs to get him out of that rut. But the fact that he's like recovering from cancer, I'm like, well, what was he before cancer?
And
because
she's rushing him. She's really like, he's very vocal about like, hey, like back off a little bit. Like, I'll get there when I get there. And I don't mind her looking out for him. But the idea that she's kind of
to a
forcing,
certain degree.
Yeah.
Like a brother and sister should look out for each other.
Yeah, but then like back
but
off.
no more. Yeah.
And don't get so close.
But
Not
are we
too close.
Are we to believe though that before this, like he was a total loser? Because when he does lose weight, and this movie could take place, I mean, this movie looks like it could have taken place over 6 months because he loses a tremendous amount of weight. He grows in a full head of hair, not a full head of hair. And women think he's attractive, and he seems funny and light and lovely, but she's like, that's not good enough.
Yeah.
You as an attractive, a charming man.
Well, yeah, her idea is that like you can't, not only are you the, post-cancer, like as you're recovering, obviously he's in rough shape and that's fine. And he's saying I'll come out of it. But then she doesn't just turn him back into himself. She essentially is like, nobody will like you unless you follow the beats of a romance novel. And I turn you into, you have to be a foreigner, you have to be unavailable, you have to bail on her, you have to disappear, all these, it's basically a rules kind of setup. Like if you follow these rules, you'll successfully trick a woman into liking you. And
but he's in love, and this is the other thing too. He's in love with Jamie Gertz, and he falls in love with her through seeing her through a window, not saying anything. He's like, she is like a Playboy Playmate of the Year. He knows nothing of her personality, and he's like, that is the girl of my dreams. It's so
He uses the
Bizarre.
phrase, I feel like in an effort to convince the audience that this is not as weird and creepy as it is, he keeps saying over and over that he fell in love with her at first sight. He uses the phrase love at first sight and I fell in love with you the first time I saw you over and over again in an effort to be like, I promise I'm not doing this for nefarious purposes. I'm not just trying to like bed this woman and now I like her. He's always pursuing love. Like that's the way I feel like they get around the moral quandary is to have him also be, he keeps also saying things like, it's not fair to Shelley Long. He'll say,
Yes.
it's not fair to Emily. I have to tell Emily. I have to say the truth. And Shelley Long is like, don't you dare.
That's right. AKA Boyfriend School. Don't tell her it's me. I should say, don't tell her it's me. AKA Boyfriend School is now streaming. Wherever you listen to your podcast, just download How Did This Get Made? Well, you know that, right? I'd hope you know that. The podcast is How Did This Get Made? The episode is Boyfriend School. Get on it, people. If you like these little recaps, a little look back at the episodes, then like, subscribe, do all the things that you might do right here on the YouTube channel. Every week, a brand new Matinee Monday, and of course, every week, a brand new How Did This Get Made episode. Whether it's a mini or main, we got them. We got them in spades. If you want to listen to all these episodes commercial-free, just go to Stitcher.com and use the code BONKERS to get a free month. All right, people, we'll see you next week for another Matinee Monday.